Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Honest to Pod with me, Ashton McAllister.
And me, Matthew Ali.
And today we have a very special guest,
Hey.
the one and only Micky.
Hey,
Hello, Micky.
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm not too bad. This has been, what's this, going into 8 weeks now, so bored, I would suppose. Well, I'm not actually bored, just not working, so it's great.
Yeah. No.
I was about to say, I don't think you get bored because this is literally more time for you to train.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Doesn't change too much that way.
Nope. And everyone, Micky is joining us for episode 75.
75. That is how old Micky Walsh will be in 2 years' time.
Very, very close to it. Very
Did you know?
actually,
This is
older
true.
than me.
Micky Walsh is the oldest person to compete in CrossFit Limavady. It's a true fact, true story.
That's probably very true, actually. I feel it sometimes. Although it's good when Ashley comes back because then he's the oldest.
I think he just
This is
looks
true.
the oldest, to be fair, with his creaky bones and stuff.
Ugh.
Bye, mate.
Yeah. Actually, I will say this just to say it. For those, we didn't actually introduce Micky, but in the when we first started this, actually, I don't know if you you listen, Micky, you came up a lot in the episodes because I think that Ash is, I would say low key, but it's very obviously highly in love with you, and basically wants your babies. So how inappropriate are his advances on you when you're in person?
Well, the first thing you realise with Ash is he's very inappropriate.
He is.
Oh, and he's a complete creep.
Oh my God! It's so
But,
true.
Yeah. Ridiculous. But
Guys, I am on this call, by the way. Just saying, I haven't cut out. If any of our listeners know, it's one thing Matt and I love to talk about is Micky.
Both of us.
You talk about Micky a lot.
Are you joking?
Maybe not when the recording's happening.
Okay.
So yes, for anyone who has listened recently or from the start even, Micky runs CrossFit Limavady here in my hometown. Micky, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what makes you so amazing, to use your own words?
Yeah, well, not much to be honest. As I say, I run CrossFit Limavady. We've been open now going into our 5th year. Suppose I've always been into a wee bit of fitness. It doesn't always look this way. I've worked in call centres, I've laboured, I've dry lined, plasterboard, I've done really everything. And then I just found a passion for CrossFit, opened a CrossFit box, and honestly, this last 5 years has been just like a blink of an eye. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
And tell us about your achievements in the sense of you went to Australia, you've been to Miami, CrossFit's taken you quite some amazing places.
Yeah, I still don't, not that I've done anything, but you don't really think about it too much because you're still in the now. But I remember starting CrossFit like 5 years ago and just watching things online like Wadapalooza, which is in Miami. It's a CrossFit competition, and then you get to compete in it last year, so it was crazy. October last year. No, sorry, this year I went actually February. It's just everything's so surreal. But again, you don't really think about those things now because you're still kind of doing it. I suppose when I'm older, like you, Ash, I'll probably think a little bit more about it. But no, it is really, it's good to push yourself every single day. That's all I ever know, ever known, and just it's what I do every day. I get up is like, what can I do today to push myself as hard as I can? Even when I had a job, it was always about that. But I suppose in CrossFit, it's just, it really is like what you put in, you get out. I've had the opportunity to go to Australia last year, just in October, to compete in the Masters World Championship. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But the crazy thing for me when I think about it is the fact that my kids have been with me, my wife Tilly's been with me, and it's that kind of makes you think more about it rather than just me, because to me I don't really know any different. It's just like I'm just doing what I do every day in the gym, but obviously when you go to competitions there's people watching, but you don't really think about it that way.
I will say this though, I do appreciate the fact that you compete in all of these wonderful places, but I actually think it's really irresponsible for you to take your family to Miami and Australia because they are so Irish and white, and yet you take them to Miami and to Australia and expose them to this fucking sun. How dare you? How dare you? You know what I mean? People are going to be blinded,
Yeah.
all right?
Plus my little girl's ginger as well. That's worse.
Listen,
She's ginger.
she's cooked and she's ready for the oven at this point. She is char grilled. How Australia and Miami within like a 6-month span?
I
No,
know.
not okay.
That the picture of your wife when she met Matt Fraser,
Oh.
she was just burnt.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story about that. So in Australia, it was a little bit different. For me, anyway, like every day I went to the gym, stayed out of the sun. It was a massive goal for me to go there and do well in the competition. Not that the Miami wasn't, but I said to myself when I go to Miami, because of what it was and how big it was, and for me anyway, the competition, I'm going to try and like soak this in and enjoy it. So I sat out in the sun. So the first 2 days we were there, Tilly put up an Instagram story of us on the beach, and my coach texted me, "Get the fuck out of the sun. This is not good for competition." I was like, "Tilly, don't be putting any more photos of me up." I was burnt stupid. So yeah, that was me told.
And this is in
Yeah,
Miami
us
you're talking
Irish
about.
people don't take well. What's that?
Was that in Miami where you were on the beach a bit more?
Yeah, in Miami. Yeah, so as I say, in Miami, I kind of not that I didn't take it seriously. Of course, I take it seriously all the time, but it was more relaxed. I kind of, you know, if I wanted to sit in the sun for 2 hours, I would have sat in the sun for 2 hours, and just kind of, like I was more relaxed, but I still wanted to do well. But it was, it's kind of it's well hard to explain. But Australia was kind of more uptight because so many people had backed me to go over here, and like we'd done fundraisers to go, and you had the support, and you still have that backing to go to Miami. But it just felt as if I could relax that wee bit more.
No, I think we understand it because we've got like, and it's not to the same level by any standards, although the competitions are quite well known. We've got the tournaments that we go to for rugby, and they're in different European countries, and we went to Sydney, we went to Nashville, and things like that. And within the team that we have, there's different levels. But some people go in with this like such intensity that they forget to just actually appreciate where they are, what they're doing. And I really like to take in and enjoy not just what I'm doing, but where I am and the people around me and things like that. Not going too far by getting absolutely hammered all the time, you know, within reason. But it is important to actually understand this moment in your life because it'll go really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, even now, like Australia for me, and the leading up to it was, in the morning I went to the gym, they went off to the beach, I didn't see them, I dropped them off, left for maybe 4 or 5 hours, came back, sat with them, and was worried about being in the sun too long. Was I like hampering what I'm going to do next week? What happens if I get dehydrated? And the last week I really enjoyed it, but Miami was just, when we landed, it was like, I'm not going to say I was on holiday, even though obviously Miami I was, but it was definitely a lot more relaxed. But it is, I haven't never really been in that moment you talk about, is to try and enjoy it in the moment, but I'm trying to do that a little bit more now. But it is really tough as well because you do have expectations too, and it's hard to kind of switch them off to try and enjoy it too. Not that you don't enjoy it, but it's a fine line.
Micky, would it be safe to say that with Australia, or would I say fair to say that with Australia, because you had the family there, like all the kids were with you. Yeah. Plus, like you said, we did a lot in the run up to you going to Australia. We had fundraisers, we had event days, we had T-shirt sales, all this type of stuff. You probably carried a heavier burden with you to Australia, and plus you had an injury just before Australia, didn't you?
Yeah. So leading to Australia was kind of absolutely in my head, like it was. I hadn't been able to do like an air squat, so I was injured. I had gluteal tendinopathy, it's called. Basically, how I could explain that is if you have a sore joint anywhere and you go to bend it, the pain you get is just excruciating. So for maybe 2 or 3 months leading into the competition, I couldn't do a squat at all. And obviously before we go, we don't know what we're doing. So not that I wasn't looking forward to it. Well, I actually really wasn't looking forward to it because I just felt as if I've got this massive opportunity and this is happening now, and I don't feel as if I'll be able to give everything that I can give because this is happening. And it was just a crazy mixed of emotions. Like, I was coming home every day and the kids were excited and the Tilly was excited, but I was kind of like, ugh. But then in the lead up to that, 2 or 3 weeks before, they actually released the workouts. And if I was to sit with my physio at the time and like Tilly and all the movements that I could do, if I was to write myself these workouts and then make them easier, it's what the workouts were released for the competition. So then I was like, right, this is absolutely unbelievable. It's meant to be.
Yeah, and that gives you sort of like a mental push in the right direction to say, actually, this is not bad. This is not going to be as bad as I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, you can
And
just
then
relax
obviously,
it.
exactly. And then with Miami, it was a bit different because it was sort of, in my opinion anyway, it was one of the first times in a long, long time that you and Tilly had gone away, just the two of you.
Yeah, we've never gone. We have three kids, like obviously, and we've never gone away without the three of them. Obviously, we had. No, actually, we've never been to. Well, we went away to Spain actually for 4 days, for 3 days for a break. That was the only time we've ever been away. This was kind of like, I think it was 10 days. So yeah, it's a big difference.
Was it
Nice
as
to get
terrible
away
as I
and
think
just-
it was?
That what?
Was it as terrible as I thought it would be? Like, just you and one other person for 10 days? Because I think about me and Ashley being together for 10 days, and honestly, I couldn't think of anything worse.
Matt, we've
You
been
take-
together now for 8 weeks. Tilly has murdered me, I would say, at least 30 times.
What is the
Her
worst
head
thing that you
got
keep...
away with it.
What are you doing to annoy her?
Breathing.
It's just, it's a very, it's a fine line.
I literally was on a call for you, was it last week, Mickey? And Tilly was literally said to you, Mickey, why are you breathing so hard? And I was just like...
And he's literally on the floor, just finished his workout. He's like, I literally just squatted 1,000 squats. Come on, bitch. See me. Like...
We're married this month 10 years, so yeah, it's a very much...
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. That's what Tilly keeps saying. If she'd have murdered me, she could probably be out of jail by now.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it is. It's the week over there was great. Just here, you never get that time, and not that it's not great. Sorry, not that it's great to leave the kids at home and get away, but in a way it is. If that makes sense.
I mean, it
it's
completely
lovely
makes
to
sense.
happen. Yeah, it was good.
I think it's nice to get a good balance, and like you said, you're able to, at least for a little bit on this trip, even though you're still competing, you were able to enjoy yourself a bit more, and you know, your attention was just on, you know, getting the balance between having fun and also competing.
Yeah, and
like,
the thing is with that as well. Like, people always say to me about, oh, the sacrifice you're making. Realistically, right? Let's call it a spade. I'm not really sacrificing that much because I'm getting to do this 3, 4, 5 hours every single day. When you look at Tilly with 3 kids, maybe doing school runs, and Ash, you know all about the school runs. On Matt, they're different level, but yeah, like that sacrifice. That's how I'm able to do these things as well. So, going away to Miami and the relaxation I plan to take was for her as well. In a way, they say, like, not that I was giving a wee bit back, but you do feel as if, like, what do you want to do today? Right, we'll do that, and then sure I can train after, or so on. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, gives you time. Gives you two as a couple time to spend together and chill, and yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And like you said, here we are sitting in week 8 of quarantine. Is it week 8 or is it week 8? It is week 8, isn't it? Starting tomorrow.
Just come in here with a machete here. How long? Oh, no, I'm all right. It's okay.
So we're going into week 8.
Yeah.
And one of the things we want to talk to you about, which we'll segue into in a minute, is so this week. I don't know if any of you guys have seen. I think it's hard to escape it. But Adele posted a picture of herself. Was it her birthday this week or last week?
I think it was her 32nd birthday. I think
it was 32nd birthday, and she posted on Instagram a slimmer picture than what some people would know her for. I think the other pictures had gone up, and you could tell that she was losing weight. But the photo went up. And one thing that as soon as I seen the photo the morning I seen it, I just knew that there would be some form of backlash.
Yeah.
But in the sense of, as soon as somebody says, "Doesn't she look good?" there would be a, "Are you saying she didn't look good when she was bigger?"
Yeah.
Which is a very odd mindset to take, but it's unfortunately some of the mindset that people do take.
Wait, what's an odd mindset?
To say to somebody, if somebody gives somebody a compliment, to say, "Doesn't Adele look good?" the odd mindset is to then come back and say, "Are you saying that she didn't look good before?"
I don't think that's right. No, I think it's
No. Well. Wait. I think in the sense of, you're not saying she looked bad before. I'm just saying she looked good. She looks good now.
Yeah.
I think there's a big jump for somebody to automatically go to that negative space to say, well, actually, are you saying she looks bad? She looked bad before. It's like, well, why would you make that jump to assume I'm saying she said that? I didn't say that.
It would be more like saying she looks good now she's lost weight. Is that?
Or if she looks better.
Yeah, because they're saying, oh, look how good she looks in her photos because she's lost weight. That's like the point of it. Not that she looks good now or before. She may look good in any picture, but it's the fact that she's lost weight and now she looks good. How good does she look in her new photos with her new body because she's now lost a bunch of weight? Which is, I understand why people might not want to be complimented by their weight loss or weight gain, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. See, when I seen the picture, honestly, I never really paid attention to what it was. I seen it somewhere. I can't remember. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah. So yeah,
I had to double look. I had to double look. Yeah.
It came on the news about the picture. Came on the news, and then it says Adele, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Adele!" So it was kind of like I'd seen it. So I think I'd seen it online. No way, people share stuff on Facebook, and you just scroll on.
Yeah.
I'd seen the picture a few times, and didn't realize until it came on the news that's who it was. Like, holy shit!
I definitely say it's remarkable, like the change, regardless of what's happened, whether there's a drastic weight loss or gain. Like, she has changed the way that she looks a lot, and that is quite significant, especially for someone like her, because she doesn't put herself out on social media at all. She'll go into hiding for years at a time, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
It's hard for celebrities. I can imagine, to keep your life private when you're so famous, and that she's able to do so like quite successfully. So it is that I understand why people are making such a deal about it, because you don't get much content from her anyway, and people obviously live through celebrities' lives and stuff. But I mean, we spoke about this before. You shouldn't always compliment. I don't believe you should compliment someone always on their weight loss or gain, but I understand that does happen. Personally,
I personally think that if somebody's, because losing weight is hard work. It takes a lot of graft to sit and lose weight, and I think if she didn't lose it accidentally, not that I'm aware of anyway. She's obviously put in some hard graft to lose weight. She for whatever reason she decided she wanted to change her body, and she worked to change it. I think it's healthier to be slimmer. That's not to say you're not fit if you're larger. I'm saying if you're carrying less weight on your muscular and skeletal frame, it's going to put less strain on your body and your heart and your organs. So it is healthier to be thinner. So I think it is good to compliment somebody when they've worked hard and they've lost weight. That's not to say that you're insulting somebody for being large. It's just saying well done and putting the work in.
Well, that's kind of, as you'll know, obviously coming around, like even in the gym, like in any gym environment or any health environment or any environment like this, when people lose weight, in my personal opinion and my view with this, and like I speak to Tilly about this all the time, and normally it is like if you're speaking to people even just over a coffee or their goals and stuff, it's like, people will say, "Oh, I want to lose weight," or people will say, "I'm happy enough where I am, I want to get stronger." But my opinion on this is just basically, if you are happy with what it is at the minute and where you are, then if you don't feel as if you need to change, and don't change, but don't hide either. So don't be insecure about the way you are, if that makes sense. So like when me and Tilly go away, like even in Miami for example, I'm fat. I'm like, catch yourself on, will you? Like wear your bikini. I just roasting to the beach. I can't wear a bikini because I'm too big. I'm like, I have no idea why you think like that. I said, this is your body. I says, take your top off, wear your bikini. If you're happy with this is who you are, this is who you are. Whether you're being a size 0, a size 12, a size 20, if you're happy with where it is, then this is where you are. If you're not happy, then we go down the change route.
I think there's an element though, and this is to you, I guess, because you can say that because your body is like what people try to achieve after, rightfully so, like all of your hard work. I don't know, like, have you ever been in really out of shape or felt like you had, or do you have now like insecurities with your body where you're like, you know what, I really find it uncomfortable to do something? Because your Instagram tells other lies. You're so topless all the time.
Yeah. It's just
and it is thought through.
Even growing up, like as a kid, when I went on holidays, I didn't have a t-shirt on. You know, it's just I'm comfortable with like what I am, and I understand that the way I think about things, everybody is so different. Don't get me wrong, and it's not like I don't parade about with a top off because I'm in good shape or things like that. If I was not in good shape, the way my head is, I would be happy enough to like walk about with no top on. And like Ash, you know my father, like he runs like my father runs. That's probably where I get it from him. To be honest, he literally doesn't wear a top at all when it comes to like springtime to winter, like at all. He's just comfortable.
Jesse has the tops off.
He is. Yeah, he's just tops off the whole time, and I know it is easy for me to say that, I suppose, because if you look at Instagram here's the problem with it as well. That is the problem with social media and stuff. But I mean, that's just the way I feel. If you're comfortable, flaunt it. Like people's opinions is people's opinions. Like for instance, for me doing that, people will have an opinion on me as well. When I get up in the morning, not in a cocky or obnoxious way, those thoughts don't really bother me because no matter how good or bad you do, people have those thoughts anyway, and that's just I'll never be able to change them. And but I'm just comfortable with how I look, and I feel as if, like for instance, if you're having a conversation with me, like Ash or Matt, and like Ash, I have this conversation with you a lot, and Matt, I don't have it with you at all hardly, like, but I don't mind having it with anybody. But if you're happy with who you are at the minute, happy days, flaunt it, do whatever you want, top off, hot pants, whatever way you want to flaunt it, that's fine. But if you're not happy, then how do we change it? What would you be happy with? That's kind of where it goes to then as well, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely, I do agree.
But everybody's different with that as well, don't get me wrong.
I wish more people were able to be happy with how their bodies are and things like that. And I'm along the same lines with you, to be honest. Like, I'm nowhere near in shape at all, but like even yesterday, like I was just outside my front door in like really short shorts, topless and everything, because the sun was out, and I really wanted to enjoy it. And regardless of like the soft bits that I see in like the mirror and stuff, I do look at parts of my body and think, do you know what, I'm really happy with it. Is it perfect? No. But do you know what?
But what is perfect? That's the problem. You know what I mean? What is perfect? This is it. You know, no matter, like if I ask you that, you'll maybe say something different to what I say is perfect. If I ask Ashley what's perfect, everybody, and that's the thing, everybody is so different. Yeah.
The thing with the Adele thing though is I think and people in general is because actually you say like it's important to, people work really hard to lose weight, but that's not always the case. Some people don't do it purposely, but it's a result of mental health issues or illnesses and things like that. And at this point, like, with pictures being posted with no background, people are going to speculate, and I think it's wrong to assume that people are going to in the CrossFit, and when you go to a gym, that situation, people like outwardly express that they want to lose weight, and and that's important. But if they don't do that, then I think it can be wrong to assume that someone's lost weight due to their hard work and dedication.
Yeah. That's kind of the go ahead, Ash, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I think that the difference from what we're talking about is what I said initially was people complimented her on her weight loss, and then other people attacked their compliment by saying, "Are you saying she looked bad before?" I think it's.
And there's no win-win situation really. Like, and that's we given a compliment. You're always
Yeah. It's sort of, and it's sort of then the article that was written in the Telegraph by the journalist Rebecca Reed, sort of in my head backs up what I'm saying, because she said, "Why the photo of the new slimmer Adele makes women like me feel uncomfortable." And in this article, like, she admits that she's jealous, and she admits that it hurt her when she read it because she looked at Adele as a larger figured, look at me, I represent, and I think she does quote in the article that in 2002 Adele said that she is proud to represent the majority of women and that she will never become a skinny mini. So it's, the people have reacted to her. I think they've looked at it and said a 7-stone weight loss, and it's to me it's about, I get that people are okay with how they look, but because somebody has lost weight and people are complimenting her on their weight loss, it then springs this negativity from other people who look at that and say, well, I'm jealous of that. And I think it's the negative articles that come out and say, well, Adele's weight loss makes me feel uncomfortable. It's like, well,
Yeah.
Adele's weight loss is about Adele. You know, like you said, Matt, Adele is an incredibly private person from what we understand. And her weight loss shouldn't take away from the fact that she was an Oscar winner, a Golden Globe winner, she's a Grammy winner, she's a Billboard Music Award winner, she's a Brit Award winner. Like, she's an incredible person. And to me, all I care about is, when's her next album coming out. She's a
Oh my
singer,
God,
and that's
yeah.
what she wants to be known for.
Yeah.
And I think to me, it's the negativity that is onset by other people's success. And you're right, Matt. We don't know if she lost weight, if it was a health reason or whatever else reason. But when she looks happy in the picture. She doesn't look sad. She looks happy with who she is. She looks incredible in that black dress that she's wearing. And some people out there who I believe are self-defined as feminists attack her for it because they no longer can use her as a benchmark to justify their own body. That's the way I look at it.
I think this is kind of the problem though you have in society now is that like and there's a big massive focus on mental health around the whole world, which is so important. But there's also people, in my honest opinion, that hide behind that as well. And what I mean by that is like people that have a like there's people that have had things have happened to them over the years and it's traumatic and they've like mental illnesses after this and that's understandable and the things that have happened are shocking and terrible. But what I mean is like for instance if people come out with insecurities and stuff and then hide behind like an umbrella of things that are so like what is mental health, like what it's a wide broad of things, whereas like it's okay to go out and like for instance Adele doing this and somebody having an opinion on it and saying like she looks really good, then somebody coming in and saying like oh what are you trying to say, that's not what the person's trying to say. So like on the mental illness side of things I think there's too much, you can't have an opinion now on things because you're damning things or you can't say something straight up. Like for instance, why is there so many fake accounts run about? There's all these things happen. You can't be as honest anymore because you can't say that because that could harm their mental health in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and
I don't want to sound
I think
too harsh. I'm not. I know what I want to say, but it's not coming out too well.
no, I think we've chatted a lot about mental health on this podcast in the past. And one thing, mental health issues and concerns on the rise, and they should be. I think there should be more awareness around things like this. And pictures like Adele posted are going to have some effect on some people, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, if any woman who felt comfortable in their body before and then now feels uncomfortable because they've seen Adele, they shouldn't feel uncomfortable because somebody else decided to lose weight. Like you said, Micky, it's all about being comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
But I also do think that this over awareness on mental health shouldn't take away from awareness of physical health as well.
Exactly.
Your body and your brain are two different things. And just because you're striving to get a better grasp on your mental health, you shouldn't overlook your physical health as a way to get there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do.
When's the last? Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think they are separate things, but I do think they're like connected, and it's more like if you compliment someone and say that they look nice and that's fine. I think it would be different if you compliment someone on their weight loss or on something they've done to change their body, whether it was on purpose or not. Unless you actually know, that's the only thing I'll say. Like,
yeah.
And I agree with both of you. Like, say like that woman who wrote the article and saying Adele's weight loss makes me feel bad. That's their own insecurities. Like they're projecting that onto someone else, which is not okay. You need to be comfortable within yourself. I think on a certain level, regardless of whether you are overweight or not, out of shape or in shape, there is a certain level of self-esteem that's important for people to have. And if someone is larger, I see myself as a larger person, to be fair, but I still see myself as, I'm not like massively large, but I think that you should be able to feel comfortable even if you're out of shape and not feel bad about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Not to say that you shouldn't do anything about being healthier, but I keep getting from you, Ashley, in particular, that you feel like if someone is bigger, then they are unhealthy, and I just don't think that that's always the case, to be fair.
Oh,
No. What I said, Matt, was if you're bigger, you're unhealthier. I'm not saying you're unhealthy. I'm saying if the larger you are, the more unhealthy you will be.
And I just don't think that's true. If I think about like people that I think, I mean, I've spoken about it before, but I can be quite active and I try and exercise and things like that. And there are people that we had a gym at work and we go sometimes for like retreats and things away and whatever. And there are people that are like, I mean, like 30, 40 kilograms less than me. And these are men as well. They are much lighter than I am and are in no way near physical shape as I am. Like, you know, we're doing active things. And that does not mean that they are more healthy because they are thinner.
Well, I mean, to me, Micky, you know more than this, so step in if I'm wrong. But there's different aspects here. Fitness is just one thing, but if you're heavy or you're putting more strain, like I said before, you're putting more strain on your muscles, you're putting more strain on your organs. It takes a heart a lot more to pump the blood around a larger body than it does a smaller body. So it's not just about fitness. It's about what other things you have to put your body through. And I guess.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Micky.
I think like what you're saying is right, and then what Matt you're saying is right. There's body types as well. There is going to be larger people. There's going to be smaller people. When it comes to like the both points is like, so from a health standpoint, we talk about obesity. Like when I stand on here's problems with that. Like when I stand on those scales, you know, you used to get them in the chemist, the ones you put your hands in, and they do your whole BMI and all that. I'm obese for my height, you see, so that you can't take it all off that. But
and your height, sorry, do you say you're 4'9" or 4'8"? I forget.
I'm actually 3'7". No, I'm actually 6'5" sometimes, but sometimes I'm 5'8".
You are never 6'5".
I am sometimes.
When he's standing on Tilly's shoulders.
I still wouldn't be 6'5". But there's different body types as well. So like there is larger people, there is smaller people, and there's in between people as well. But I think the point is more the obesity side of like, so it's more probably the point easier to make would be about like calories in, calories out. For instance, you have the people that like say for instance, like me, say I was chunky, but I was always chunky, and I'm not eating excessively. I'm still exercising, but my body type doesn't really change. If that makes sense. So the people that would be on the obesity side would be putting their organs more at stress because the organs are having to work harder to pump the blood around the body. Like the heart's working harder, so they pump the blood around the body to the organs and stuff because they're heavier and they're unhealthier. So like obviously there's thinner people as well that are probably more unhealthy than the bigger people because they probably eat more rubbish and all that sort of stuff. But the body type aside, it's more the obesity side of things, and like I'm trying to put it like you'll see. I tell you what, look at all athletes and sports and all around. Like Wayne Rooney, for instance. Wayne Rooney was an athlete, but didn't look like an athlete. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not just me saying that. Like, so you look at Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo played at the same time. So they're both athletes. They're both playing a professional sport. One's body type's completely different to the other. If that makes sense. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Ronaldo's healthier than Rooney at that aspect. They probably do the same things. Yes, Ronaldo probably does things differently, but I mean then when you go on the scale of things that somebody's not so active, but maybe they're obese, if that side of things. Does that make sense? Or then you have the other person that's smaller, who's not active as well, and is probably eating as much as the person that's obese is eating. As unhealthy as the bigger person too, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
I think so. I do think people's bodies react differently to certain things because I look at my body shape and my housemates' body shapes and things like that, and I just think, well, we're all similar heights and stuff. They're slightly taller than me. I weigh a lot more than they both do. We all play rugby and things like that. Some of us exercise, some of us don't. The things that I eat are different to other people. Actually, we were talking about this the other day because, you know, you were talking about the time, your weight, I hope you don't mind me saying, you say that your weight fluctuates quite a lot.
Oh my God, yeah, I mean, I literally was about to say I put on so much weight.
And I want to just say you look really good with your weight gain. Honestly, well done. Well done on all of the pounds that you put on. You look really good.
Well, thank you. I don't feel comfortable with myself, so I do want to lose it.
You should feel comfortable.
Well...
And that's the other side of this as well. There is people that will like eat a bag of crisps and put on weight. You know, it's just people are so different, and they like react differently to how they're like
Micky,
foods and everything.
Can I just say, if it was just a bag of crisps, it's probably, was it the time that I had 2 pizzas in a day, or what was it?
Actually, can I just say this also? I know.
I know. Listen, guys, it's been a really tough time. But on the go ahead, Matt.
Go on, Ash.
I was just going to say, on the topic of obviously being active and sort of doing what we can, and like what Matt loved to just point out there, that I have put on weight. I'm just saying, obviously...
I didn't say that. I said your weight fluctuates. And then you said your body weight.
I know exactly what you were saying. So we are in week 8 of lockdown, and I think mentally and physically people are, you know, I want to say pushed to their limits, but it's not what I'm trying to say. They're sort of, we're hitting a barrier of what we can do, and I think, Micky, I've said to you so many times that you're one of these unique people who can find motivation in like the grimmest of circumstances. For somebody like yourself to go out to your gym and train by yourself, sometimes with music, sometimes without music, with nobody there. Like, I enjoy going to CrossFit because I love, it's sort of what pushes me further is being with other people and doing it. But you've got this unique mental ability to apply yourself and stimulate yourself when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Do you know what? I carry on with this guy all the time. He's always like, Micky, you're not wise. And I'm always like, do you know what? I'm not. I don't claim to be wise in a way. I don't know where I come. Like, see, you growing up, there's a couple of things stand out for me, and I don't know if it's got anything to do with it, but I actually talked a little bit about the story. Go ahead.
Is it the Britney Spears posters in your bedroom when you were a kid?
But that's like a given. That's like, you know, Britney Spears is the god. Like, there's nobody like Brit. I'll tell you, I started.
You should hate her now because you know she just burnt down a gym, and she might burn down yours.
Matt, you need to be very careful here with Britney now. She's a very special lady.
Did you hear that, Micky? That she burnt down her gym.
Yeah,
she lit a candle and she burnt down her gym.
No, she didn't.
I'll give
I swear.
Listen, you don't follow her. She's a god. You need to look at her current news.
You're some fan, Britney. You're not a Britney Spears fan at all.
She burnt down your church.
See, whenever I started going to Tilly, though, I still had her calendars every year. I mean, yeah. But no,
wow.
Up, like, it's just a few things that have happened. I remember, like, obviously playing football the whole way through. Even before playing football, I remember going outside and just doing laps around this island we used to have. Do you know when you're growing up and you have like something outside your house that's massive? When you go back and see it, it's like tiny. But to me, in that time, it was massive. And I used to run around this like a wee square thing outside the house. We used to race and see how long you could run around it. And all my friends used to say, "We stop now." He's not. We'll do a few more. And everybody used to get scunnered with me doing this. And then I started playing football. I don't know, it's just, I remember one time we played in the Milk Cup here, which is quite a big tournament. It was under 14s and all my mates get selected for the team and I didn't. And I remember at that time, I was like gutted, disappointed, but I just sort of said to myself, you're just not good enough. So you're going to have to make sure that, obviously, if you're not good enough skill-wise, that there's only one thing you can take care of, and that's run more than the person you're playing against or run more than the person's in your position. So from then it was kind of like, right, the one thing I can control, I can't control what people think of me, I can't control what this coach thinks I'm like or my skill levels and stuff, but I can control how fit I am. And that's always, I don't know. And then watching Rocky growing up, my father used to watch it all the time, and when he's training for Rocky 4, I used to be like, geez, I would love to be doing a sport that you had to train that hard to do it. I would love to be doing. I don't know, I just, don't get me wrong, I remember looking at Rocky saying, geez, I'd love to look like that as well. And I remember, and this is no word of a lie, from about first year, every single day I used to come home from school, I used to go upstairs, put Britney Spears on the radio and do push-ups and sit-ups for hours.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I was missing. I used to go upstairs and put on Cristina Aguilera, but I didn't do push-ups and sit-ups. I used to dance. Fuck! Yeah. Oh my days! What a mistake.
That's what you're missing.
I was shaking my bum. I'm a really good dancer though. I was.
Well, I'm actually very good at sit-ups and push-ups now.
Oh mate, I missed out. We need to teach each other.
Yeah, that's always just been in my head. I don't know. It's like when I get up in the morning, it's always like, honestly, if you're inside my head, you would think that fella is not wise. Like, people say to me when I'm training, why do you not listen to music? I say, look, in my head, there's music on all the time. That's kind of what I always say to people. So I don't know. It's always been in me. I don't believe in that. the bar's never too high. I don't believe that. I really, really don't. Like, I think you can always get over the bar as such in a way if you keep pushing hard enough.
Mickey,
And everything.
Big question. Top 5 Britney Spears songs.
Oh, girl.
Do you know what? Hey, I always I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. That one.
That's your favourite.
Oh. I always go back to playing. I like Sometimes as well. That hits the strings like sometimes. Hit Me Baby One More Time's up there as well, just because I remember
Absolutely
I had it
has
on
to
the
be.
big PC in the sitting room, and I had to actually get earphones, like big earphones at the time, because my mum and dad were going clean mad because I played it like for repeat for like an hour.
Did they ever come up to you and have a serious chat with you and say, Mickey? Basically, the same
Here's a
chat
share
that
CD.
Ashley and I had. Did they have that same conversation with you?
I actually remember, now you think about it, or now I'm thinking about it, you talking like this, I remember my dad actually bought me a pool table and built me the shed out the back, and he put the pool table with my stereo in the back so I could listen to it out there. Maybe that was a sign.
Oh, wow.
Get out there.
I think my favourite Britney Spears song is 100% Toxic. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
The video is incredible. The song is incredible. It is the best piece of artwork that she's ever done.
She is
I like Give Me More. I think that's my favourite.
Is that
There's
her?
actually one she done. What was the one? It was with the rapper. Oh, it's actually very good.
Oh, I don't know which one that is.
Oh,
You didn't know Give Me More was Britney Spears?
I didn't think I did think. No. Who did I think
And
it
Piece
was?
of Me. Give Me More and Piece of Me are my 2 favourite things.
But I wasn't a massive Britney Spears fan. I wasn't a huge one. I
but
remember.
did you like Cristina Aguilera? Do you not think at that time it was either Cristina Aguilera or Britney Spears? Or there was never
Yeah.
like both. My sister loved Cristina Aguilera and hated Britney Spears.
Because I prefer like good voices as opposed to like the whole entire performance. I've always been about just the vocals and the quality. And you know, Britney Spears is not known for her vocals, but she is very talented, and obviously she's beautiful and a great performer. But she's not the best singer, and I love great singers, so that's why I was more like Christina was my gal.
Fuck, he's white harsh, isn't he, Ash?
Well, I was going to say, what do you feel about that?
It's hard to take, to be honest.
What? Hold on, you're not gonna lie to yourself and to everyone and say that she's got a good voice, are you?
I remember the time, she shaved her head and started hitting the car and stuff. I remember Tilly buzzing. She done this. They say, see, look at Britney Spears. And I was like, leave her alone, will you? She's going through a lot.
People are harsh, man.
Leave.
Like she's got. When we talk about mental health issues and stuff, like she obviously needs some help, and people are horrendous about it. Like honestly, they're really bad. I think people are really unfair. Really, and then she put on just a tiny bit of weight. Right, she wore the same outfit, just had a slight little belly, a little muffin top, and people were saying how fat she was, and I was like, "You're fucking mad. You are crazy if you think she's fat and not still beautiful."
Are we around the same age?
I'm about 10 years younger than both of you.
Well,
yeah, we roughly are. Matt, you're 32, aren't you?
Yeah.
Growing up, she would have been the biggest person growing up.
Oh, I remember exactly when she came out. And my older brother, he's 5 years older than I am. So, not 5 years, that's an absolute lie. 2.5 years. I don't know why I said 5 years. How old are you both? Ash, you're 34.
Well, I'll be
Mickey's
21 now in November.
No, take a seat, Mickey.
Are you talking about 21
not
inches in your height?
Not with
I'll
those
actually
frown
be
lines.
37 in November.
That's embarrassing for you.
I know.
What? You're 37? I thought you were younger than. I thought you were the year above me in school.
Oh no, I'm 37 in November coming.
36, yeah. And you're turning 35 next week, actually, so it's pretty much the same.
30.
I am.
I'm 35 in a month's time.
Ash, you're definitely fucking lying to yourself. I swear to God, hey, there's no way.
Listen, it's not my. No, I know what you're saying, guys. It's not my fault. I have amazingly good skin and I look a lot younger than what I actually am. I get told it all the time. It's not my fault. I am turning 35 next month.
Do you get it,
I
Ashley?
love it how
Go on.
around Limavady, I always say to people, look, honestly, guys, who looks younger here, me or him? So he was talking to Ash, obviously. And
Why would you ask a
me,
question?
He is.
No one
He's angry.
Yeah, Ash looks younger than you, for sure. Are you saying they say you look younger?
Shut up.
That's because you wear tracksuit bottoms outside in the day when it's inappropriate and you look like one of the chavs around the corner. And
I
because
actually don't even wear tracksuit bottoms. I wear shorts.
fucking shorts everywhere. One of those stupid idiots. What is it with people that like work in gyms and stuff that wear shorts regardless of the weather? You've got tiny little calves as well. Like they're not going to warm up, but apparently your legs are really. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. We've got
I'll
the
tell you a
PT at
funny
work.
story about my shorts. See, just at the end of the year last year, it was about November time. I think it was, right? Or October. It was actually just before I went to Australia, actually, so it would have been just around the start of October. A girl in the gym asked me to do a talk to a youth club in school. So I was like, nah, no problem. Do you remember this, Ashley?
No.
So I was all right. I said, yeah, that's no problem at all. So I was working that night. I said, look, do I have to do anything? She said, no, you're grand, just come, sure. I said, look, I'll be working, so I'll just come from work. She said, that's all right. So I was all right. I was working. I got a guy to come in to cover me. So Emmett it was at the gym. He was coming to cover me. So he was a wee bit late. And I was like, Emmett, you coming in? He goes, I'm coming now. So I was meant to be there at 7:30. I landed literally at about 31 minutes past. And she was like, oh, where were you? And I had my jumper on, my shorts, and my obviously CrossFit socks and my nanos. She says, come on, we're going to the hall. I said, what are we going to the hall for? She says, oh, everybody's waiting for you. I says, hold on a minute, everybody? She says, yeah. So the next thing you know, the principal walks around the corner with his big suit, hair all done. Did you not dress for this? I was like, for what? He says, the whole parents, teachers, everybody's in the hall waiting for you, the whole school. I was like, oh, God. I says, you joking? He goes, no. I says, oh, shit. He goes, did you not have anything else to put on? I said, look, I'll be honest. See, the suit you're wearing and what I'm wearing doesn't make us any different to people. He says, I'll be fine. We'll just get on with it. So I had to sit on the like, you know, way, like in the school you have the stage as such.
Oh my days, yeah.
I had to sit on the stage for about 30 minutes in the seat, listening to all these people talking about their achievements and the school. I was like, oh my God. I had nothing prepared, not a thing. Our guest speaker, Michael Walsh, is going to speak now. I was like, oh, sweet Lord. This is about 500 people sitting in front of me. Me not prepared at all. But sure, it's only a pair of shorts.
Why do we not blame this woman for not preparing you at all for what you're about to do? She didn't give you any context.
Matt, that's exactly what I said, but she was like, oh, I told you. And I was like, you definitely didn't tell me. You definitely didn't tell me.
What?
It probably wouldn't have made a difference on me, to be honest.
Were they good shorts? Were they at least good shorts? Please tell me you moisturise your legs at least.
Moisturise.
Oh my God.
He shaves his legs.
Yeah. Do you have hairy legs, Matt?
Do I have
We were talking about this yesterday, Matt.
Me, I've got beautiful smooth legs. They are not hairy at all.
Right, so
Honestly,
I have hairy legs.
No.
My wife does massages, so see, getting a massage in hairy legs is excruciating. So like if I ever get niggles or any pains in my legs and need to rub, I just shave my legs. Not with a razor, just like with a hair razor, just like down to a zero. It's bliss. It's great.
And in his defense, Matt, his wife Tilly does massage his body pretty much like 4 times a day. I mean, so that lotion is getting pushed right into that skin.
Let's keep it clean here, guys. Come on.
Oh.
Look, I'm surprised at you, Ash.
Don't you be blushing after the type of stuff you talk about with me on the phone just because that record button's hit now, Micky.
Micky Walsh, this is a purely queer space, okay? No one's to hear about your heterosexual woman on man encounters, okay? That's fucking disgusting, okay?
That's a...
Disgusting.
Ashley hears them all the time. He loves it.
Ashley doesn't even talk about sex. Ashley doesn't have sex. He doesn't believe in it.
Yeah.
I'm not
did
married
I not tell you the story about when he came to Dublin, Matt? You wouldn't have heard this wee story.
Oh, let's go. I love it.
When you hear this wee story of our friend Ash. So, me, Tilly, and Bobby, we booked a room in the hotel. So we had a nice double bed and a wee single bed.
Bobby is your middle child.
Yeah. Bobby, he's 12. Well, he was 11 then. So I was all right. I know we came down, and obviously it's a big competitions on. Ash is coming over from London to see all the boys compete. Obviously, there was no women there that weekend, apparently.
Didn't notice one.
Yeah.
So that's another story.
I was wondering why, because he did it over my birthday weekends, but I realised now why he left, because there was all the boys. He was talking about... Sorry, I'll just say this. Well, I'm hoping it wasn't Bobby, because he kept on talking about this guy, Bobby, that he thought was really hot. And now it makes sense as well.
Wow.
No, it was Matt McLeod, I think.
Could we not have paedophile jokes? It was...
You've definitely changed since going to London, hey?
Anyway, continue with your story, Micky.
Now, Ashley's the sort of guy who's like, organised. So if he's going away for the weekend, he'll have a wee diary, and I know he does have a diary somewhere where he writes everything down, 9 o'clock, here's what I'm doing, and he writes the next thing down, taxi at 12, all this sort of stuff.
100%.
So I'm not really like that, right? So I give a guy a lift down to the competition because he didn't realise the competition was on a Friday, but he had booked the hotel for the Saturday. So I was like, fuck, sure, it'll be all right, Ash will let you stay over with him, so that's fine. So we land down to the competition, obviously. Must have been 9 o'clock in the morning. It was early anyway, we were there. Obviously, in my head, I still haven't said to Ashley here now that this guy's going to be sharing a room with him, but that's okay.
This is Friday night you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and we're there on the Friday. So then we watch the competition. It's over, I'm going to say 7 o'clock. So we land back to the hotel, and I'm like, oh, fuck, right. Where's Ash? So there's Ash. I said, Ash, look, you couldn't do me a favour. Connor has no room. Could he stay in your room tonight? And at this moment in time, Ash has his phone in hand, you know, and you watch these films, the boy starts juggling the phone as if he's been completely shocked. He's like, oh. So that's all right, anyway. His face goes sheet white. He doesn't really respond. And then I get checked in, and Micky, I can't. I have a guy coming around tonight, so I can't. Connor stay. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I have a guy coming around. It's just like he came. Something grinder or something that he's always on or something he was talking about. So, and next thing, Connor had his sleep in the single bed in our room. Bobby was in our double bed with me and Tilly, and that was our night for the night. And Ashley was nice and comfortable, hooked up with his guy in his room there. That's the story about Ash.
Oh, with a spare bed in my room as well.
With a spare bed in the room as well. Yeah.
Listen, there's one thing we know about Ashley, and I don't know if you know this, but you might listen to it on the podcast. Ashley's motto is hoes before bros. He has no loyalties when it comes to his friends.
100%.
Okay, all he cares about is the D, and I mean he will ignore me, or I'll tell him I think that guy's hot, and he will go straight over there and just undercut me. He is the biggest cockblock, unless it benefits
100%.
himself. He is disgusting when it comes to that. Outrageous. Ashley, how could you do that to Connor?
Shocking. You should have seen him that whole weekend. Oh my good God.
What? How he was over the guys? There was not a single video of anyone that he knows. It was all about these random people. But what Ashley likes to do, he likes to drop a little nugget of one woman to make out like he cares about this woman performing. It's not true. It's not true at all.
Oh, I know.
It's a ruse.
It's a ploy. It's a decoy.
It's absolute ruse. I care about everybody here. I do. The only reason why I do CrossFit is for the competition, he says. Absolute lies. Absolute lies. Just own up to it.
Can I just say that your impersonation of me, Matt, is terrible?
I can't do your Irish accent. Well, you're pretty much London anyway nowadays, so it's pretty much spot on. Because you certainly don't have a Northern Irish accent. I have some questions about Ashley because I really want to know this because I found out a little gem last week, right? So he called me, or we spoke, and when we were doing the podcast, and he had said like he tried to do his exercises but only did half of them, or less than half, because he wasn't really feeling it, but had the audacity to post online as if he did all of the exercises. I want to know, how bad is Ashley at CrossFit?
So it's a funny old story, this, because Ashley likes. It's like, see sometimes, now not all the time to be fair to Ash, like sometimes he goes hell bent and goes in hard. See sometimes whenever you get a text message from Ashley, like something you're saying about it, he has to do less reps, right? In the back of my head, the vision I have is somebody that's like, it's hard to explain. So, do you know when you're somebody in a hard situation and they're like throwing the toys out? Oh, I can't. No, just stop. That's the vision I have of Ashley whenever he's saying he can't do all the reps. It's like he's midway through, he's having the talk with himself. They say nobody's gonna know, but I can still put it on Instagram and everybody will think I've done it all.
I'm mad.
Can I just say, Micky, I am always transparent with you if I do the reps or not.
Yeah, to be fair, he is. To be fair, and he always laughs after he says it because he knows. But I'm just say something to him.
Because yesterday, and the reason being is, you know, you hold me accountable for a lot of the stuff that I do, and you know, I appreciate that. And yesterday we did this workout, and I was the last one finished, and we chatted, you and I, until we had coffee afterwards, just on was it WhatsApp video call?
It was WhatsApp, yeah.
Yeah, and we were just chatting, and then you didn't even ask, and I just said, look, I'm not going to be honest. I didn't do all the reps. I didn't do all the calories on the thing, and that's just I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit and lie, and it's also I'm not going to lie to myself. I post the workouts as you tell us to do them.
Yeah.
If I wanted to post my own score, I would, but sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
On the flip side of that, just in case anybody's listening and thinks that this would go on with everybody, it really doesn't. It's just like a thing that we would joke about, because I'll get to know people, and I'll know the people that I can say stuff to like this.
Yeah.
For instance, CrossFit is widely scalable. So, for instance, right, if I was to get somebody that wasn't actually coming to do something for the very first time, very, very rare, especially when it comes to stuff like yesterday, like machine workouts, you would get them to do exactly what's prescribed, because it's a dark place at times, them machines and stuff, so it is quite tough. But, yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask...
I think...
Go on, actually.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I think that's... I think that is what's true about CrossFit is, it is, like you said, you do scale it back, and you're always very good at saying, like, even if you program a number, say it's 40 calories, you have to do whatever it is. Yeah. The point isn't it has to be 40 calories. It has to be a number that you can get each time. It's the consistency across the rounds or whatever it is. And I think, like you said, CrossFit is very scalable, and that's what I think because I joined it first of all, and I hated it, and I left, and then I put on a lot of weight, and then I met you. Remember, I met you guys in the coffee shop, and then.
So Matt, I'll tell you a story, but this happens all the time with me, and I don't do this to anybody, or never have, or I don't think I do. Anyway, maybe I do. But we were in the coffee shop, and again, it's the same kind of conversation with the Connor thing at the desk. Ashley started fumbling things and like dropping things, and he was like, "I just walked past." He didn't have a rugby ball in his hand, did he? He wouldn't have dropped him. Okay. But yeah. And the guy just says, "Yes, Ash, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm coming back to the gym. I swear to God, I'm coming back." I was like, Jesus, when he said hello. Is that right, Ash?
Yeah, so what happened was you guys were already in the coffee shop. There was you and a few of the other coaches were sat having coffee. I'd come in to grab a coffee to go, and you're like, you just said hello, and I was like, hey, I'm going to come back out to the gym. You didn't say anything else except for hello. But then what made me feel really awkward was that everyone else around the table laughed, and I thought, and I was wrong, I thought they were laughing at me. For saying, yeah, whatever, you're going to come to the gym. I found out later on, I think it was Niall, it was Cookie that said to me, he remembers that day, and it wasn't that wasn't we all laughed at you. It was literally, I think, 2 minutes before I had walked in, somebody else had come in and said to you, I'm going to come out to the gym. They had walked on, and then you said, I don't know why anyone who meets me has to tell me they're going to come out to the gym. Yeah. And then I walk in. And like
I wasn't saying it in a bad way as well. It's just you'd be there now, Ash. You would see it as well. People like it's Limavady is a small town. It's funny. It's not in a bad way. That's a good thing about it as well, being a small town. But like if I would say hello to people, I'm not saying hello to somebody to try and take money off you to come and get a membership in the gym. I'm just like saying how's things and how's it going.
Yeah,
not say I'm coming to the gym and
But I think there's a certain level of what we were just talking about, where like it's almost people's own. They're saying it to themselves. Yeah. They were saying it to 100%. Themselves, but they just feel like, oh, you're the person, the manifestation of what they're saying. You represent the gym and their exercise routine, and then suddenly they feel that guilt show up all of a sudden. For sure.
I have people hide food in me. Like I have people that are in the cafe that hide what they're getting because I'm there.
I get it, but Micky, I work in a food company, and then we also have a personal trainer and a gym there, and he actively looks at my food because he talks about me and my weight. And he's made a range of assumptions, one of which he thought I had like high blood pressure. Turns out I've got really good blood pressure, and he thought I had high cholesterol. And again, that one's really good as well. But he'd be like, Matt, you should be. He goes out of his way to sometimes be like, and I'm like, you don't need to judge me in my eating, okay? You do not need to do that at all. I'm very capable of choosing what I eat. Thank you very much. But
see, I wouldn't do that with anybody, right? Unless they wanted me to.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like for instance, like if somebody like was, say Matt, you came to me and said, because I think I said to you Ashley this time last year about Matt, you were saying you were starting training or something. I said, look, I'll help him out if he wants anything, like workouts and stuff like that or whatever. But if somebody was looking for my help and they were looking to change and basically like wanted goals set, say it was I want to get fitter or I want to do this and I don't want to do this anymore and blah 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 blah, and they wanted my help, I would say to them then, look, maybe make better choices and stuff. But apart from that, I would never like, it's your choice, such, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
What do you think? What do you think of the guy, Micky? This is going back maybe a year. The personal trainer who had a really obese client who came to him looking to lose weight and get healthier again. And the PT went round all the chip shops in the town and put a picture up in the thing. Do not serve this guy.
Fuck, that's talking about ruining somebody's mental health. Do you know what? Yeah. That doesn't really fix the problem in a way. Like, and I don't mean it's a problem where the guy is that. Like, that's, for instance, that's him going around showing. I think putting himself out there more than putting this guy out there. You should maybe try and talk to that guy more to say, like, why do you feel as if you need to go to if it is a chip shop, he's going to do lots, and that's why he's the weight on. I think you need to talk to, like, for everybody like that wants to change and things. You're better talking to the person to say, right, let's look at your eating now. You can't fix everything here. Like, for instance, if Matt, I sat down with me and says, look, I want to lose weight now. I want to change my diet, say, right? I can't change everything right now, because if I change everything that you're eating right now, it's not going to last because it's drastic. You sort of have to sit first and say, right, what's the biggest problem we have here at the minute? So then we would get like a food diary for like a week. I always think a week's a good food diary. Ideally, you should have the food diary before we talk, because after you talk, you're always going to be conscious that you talk to me, so you might change everything you eat. Whereas in a normal, everyday week habit where you're not thinking about losing weight, what do you eat? So then we can look at the biggest problem that you have, and then without just cutting that out altogether, we try and say, like, for instance, say you had 3 bars of chocolate a day, every day. Right, how's about we cut that down to 1? Don't cut it out completely, because, like, realistically, are you never going to eat chocolate again? That's definitely not going to happen. But so going around the chip shops and putting the guy's picture up probably doesn't help the fella at all, to be honest. Probably makes him feel worse.
People go out of their way to try and find other vices, like, because people are smart and they'll figure out ways to circumnavigate the rules or something. If someone's enforcing that, and to a certain level. And I don't know how mental health will be in place of this guy, and if he's got an absolute eating disorder and compulsion, which they need to work with his mind as opposed to like stopping him. But
exactly,
that's what you need to address. You can't be saying to people, "Don't serve this person," because it'll make you both feel bad and guilty, and also wants to figure out ways to get that fix that you need, as opposed to understand the reason why it's there.
See, going back to what you guys were saying to me, like Ashley says about going to the gym every day, training, and like how do you do it and stuff, and like, make no mistake about it, and even on this conversation we're having now, like, the word addiction gets thrown out there a lot for people on drugs and drink. I have an addiction as well. Like, there's no doubt about it.
To the gym?
Yes, it's like the addictive personality, and like I feel as if I have an addictive personality, 100%. So like it's the same with people that maybe don't eat the right stuff and eat it. Like, say for instance, like chip shops. For instance, you have a chip, you have a chipper every day. Like, if you go to a chip shop every single day, I think that's an addiction as well.
Yeah.
There is. Everybody has that addictive personality with something.
I don't think I've got an addictive personality. I do think I've got ways of coping with certain things, because I actually don't tend to obsess about many different things. If I'm honest, but like I have ways that. So I do think I have, like, food for me is like my main coping mechanism, I would say. Like, I'll eat to change my mood, depending on what it is. And it's not often that I'll feel... I've very much never feel guilty about indulging in the foods that I want to, right? And I'll often do it when I feel low, because I know that for me it makes me feel better. So I'm happy to go to the chicken shop or KFC or something and get something to eat. And I will feel absolutely 100% vindicated in my feelings. But I don't believe it's necessarily the way that I should deal with my feelings all the time, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that's go ahead.
I was going to say, just on the article about the guy. Basically, it was him and his PT had come to that solution together. I think by reading a bit more about it.
Sorry, I thought he had just done this.
Yeah, no, I initially did as well, and I knew it was something he did. But then when I just did a quick Google, and the guy and the PT went into the chip shops together, gave out the poster to say "Do not serve this guy," and they made it as
that's still a mental health thing though, and it's almost like shock therapy as opposed to like, maybe that does work or doesn't, but it's like,
well, he lost 13 stone.
But hey, all seriousness, right? Do you think that a business is going to say no to his £5 or £10 if he comes in? Honestly, not a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
unless it's the boss that's there.
I feel like if it was in a place like Limavady, for example, where everyone knows each other, they probably would do that sort of thing, no?
Jeez, I don't know.
I guess you can't speak to everyone. Yeah.
It's hard to
different.
I don't know.
Different strokes for different folks. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy did lose 13 stone, and at the time the article was, I mean, he was a very heavy guy. And the time the article was written, his aim was to lose a total of 20 stone by the end of the year. So,
that's a hell of a lot of weight.
That's mad.
Maybe it is easier justified when he is that on the brink, because I think the article says how he took up 2 seats in the airplane, and that was a life-saving move.
Yeah, so probably he did have health issues as well, where he couldn't eat that. He was probably advised of staying away. So I suppose from that side of things too.
Yeah,
I mean that's
like you said,
a full-blown eating disorder. To be fair.
Oh, but
yeah, I think one thing what's clear from a lot of this stuff is fitness and health. It's not a one size fits all type of approach. You have to take different things into consideration.
And that's kind of like on my mindset of it, with how I speak to people about it as well. Like what worked for me won't work for everybody, but I always say to people, like, there's no go-to here. There's no thing that you're going to reach out to and say, right, this is it, I'm going to do this. Or people buy diets. They do. You need to find what works for you. Like, for instance, for me, every day I know I eat the same thing every day, same time roughly. Every single day is the same thing because I know that works. So I've dialed in on that because I know exactly what I need and why I'm doing it and stuff like that. But everybody needs to find that, like, switch to say, right, I can have a relationship with food where I can have whatever I want and I can do this without going down the unhealthy route, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you don't eat too much of it, but you need to know how to bring that back to what works as well. Like, it's finding that balance of nutrition where, like for instance, people talk about eating broccoli and chicken and red meat. There's people who can't eat that stuff because their body's actually intolerant to it. So, like, do you know what I mean? You have to find what works for you. Every individual's so different. Like,
my old boss, Barbara,
love
Barbara, what a gem. Barbara is intolerant. Barbara is from Belfast, actually, Mickey. She is intolerant to animal fats. So she can't eat, her body just cannot process anything that comes from an animal. So she is involuntarily vegan. And it's just like, I can't remember what I'm going to say something really wrong now, but when she was really, really young, she caught this rare form of, I'm going to say chlamydia or some sort of disease. And it just left her system absolutely messed up. And now, like, anytime, like, if if we go out, she's obviously essentially a vegan, and if you could literally see her, like, if she had butter, she's intolerant, so she can have a certain amount, and she'd know her own tolerance levels. She used to, like, if she had like a bit of butter on something, and then maybe she had another bit of butter, you could just literally see her skin like go like a weird yellow color.
crazy.
Yeah, and it just, like, it is, like, people's diets need different things, and it just
that's where it dials down to for me. Like, in life in general, is that, like, the people are always saying, like, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't be like that. Like, everybody's so different. People have allergies to everything. There's people that do things, and, like, people always say to me, "Oh, you won't eat a biscuit and stuff." See, on a Saturday night, I'll have an ice cream or I'll maybe have a pizza or stuff like that, but I won't have it during the week.
Did you get your Ben and Jerry's last night?
Don't talk to me, right? What do you hear?
Did you not get it?
I trained really hard all week, had a great week, and I says, you know what? I'm going to have a pizza. But I bought me Ben and Jerry's as well, so I says, I have a wee bit of pizza, and I bought me Ben and Jerry's, and I thought, I'll eat that after the pizza. So I had my pizza, couldn't eat it, absolutely got it, couldn't fit it
Why?
in.
Oh, man.
Stuffed. So we'll have to sit there the next Saturday.
What a disaster.
You won't have it tonight?
Yeah. Oh no, I have it next Saturday. Saturday nights though, I would just have whatever's been on my mind that week. I'll just eat it.
What do you tend to eat during the week then?
So like my breakfast every morning is 100 grams oats, 200 ml of milk, one spoonful of peanut butter, protein powder, mixed all together with frozen berries on top, overnight oats, put it in the fridge, have it in the morning. I would then have a lunch of 200 grams of carbohydrates, 200 grams of vegetables, 150 grams of meat. That would be my lunch and my dinner. And then I would have 2 snacks. One snack would be a smoothie, like a spinach, banana, apple, protein powder, a wee bit of peanut butter with natural yogurt. And then my evening snack would be 2 bits of rye bread, a protein shake. Boom, done.
That is so uninspiring. But so for normal human beings, right? So we're talking about this like lockdown period and how things are very different.
Yeah.
Has this affected you in any way, shape, or form?
Can I be honest, right? Honestly, I actually do see this. Now, the first couple of weeks was a struggle just with the business and not getting the support from the government just yet with grants and stuff, and that's still hanging over in the balance at the minute. So I don't really get stressed with anything. Nothing really bothers me outside of that, but it's just the worry of you built something up for 5 years and whatever. So take that aside. Honestly, this has been probably, I see it as the biggest blessing in all of life, and I'm not talking from a God, but like I have my own beliefs and religion and stuff, so I'm not talking that way. I just see, like, I'm getting to spend every single day with my kids, watching them grow for 8 weeks with my wife, and nearly like somebody's hit the pause button on life, if that makes sense. It's crazy. Like it's I really do see it for what it is. Like, so Matt, for me every day anyway, I go and train on my own in the gym. If I work in the mornings, my first class is 5:15 in the morning. I'll get my training done. I'll be home maybe for 2 or 3 o'clock. The kids will be coming in from school. Sometimes I've got PTs at night, so I'll be back in the gym at 5 p.m. for 6 p.m., maybe home at 7 p.m. Kids going to bed. So it's kind of like now I just feel as if somebody's hit that pause button, and I'm watching my kids grow every day and like making them breakfast every day, sitting down together as a family. I really do see it as a blessing. So it's affected me in a way of like I do miss the gym and miss that whole, but like I don't see. Like Ashley probably told you, maybe has. I don't see it. I don't feel as if I work. Like Tilly will probably tell you different. I don't really switch off from it, but I don't see it as a job. It's like I always say, I'm living the dream, and I do believe that. And now I just feel as if the dream's even bigger because I'm at home the whole time, and it's just like I see it as a blessing. I really do. Like,
okay, I mean, it is really important to like I think take things into perspective because. You know, for many people, many of us, you know, we've gone through sort of like ups and downs. There's a very big change in the way that our lives have. But it's quite easy to see it as a negative, I think, in some ways, not being able to see the people
100%.
outside of the house and stuff, you know. But also to take the most from it because at no point for many of us, I say for myself, you know, I've been working since I was like 15. And I've never ever had this amount of time without work. So it's like, you know, after my first sort of like mope, I wanted to try and actually put some effort and energy into doing things that I haven't done before, but also take the time to, I don't know, recalibrate in some way because this has never happened before.
I do feel, I genuinely do feel, and everybody that's been affected by this, and here's the beauty of what's happening now, if you can see it as a beauty, right? Normally in life, people go through things and they're all alone or they feel it. Everybody's affected by this. Like literally, you talk about the biggest businesses, the richest people in the world, they're all going to be affected by this in some way. So you're not necessarily going through it alone. But I do honestly, genuinely think 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, you'll look back at this time and realise, my God, how good was that? Now, and again, I need to point out, there's a lot of deaths and stuff around this as well, and anybody listening maybe that has been affected by people that have died from this, I don't mean to be disrespectful that way. I know it's obviously awful, but what I mean is just the way the times kind of standing still as such for the people that aren't affected by it, and you are seeing, as you say, like, Matt, when's the last time you had 8 weeks off work?
Never.
You know,
yeah,
and it'll never happen again unless you're unemployed.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll never happen again.
Well,
I wanted to ask actually because you started CrossFit when you were 43, you said, right? And you started your business at 47? I may have misheard. I might be missing the numbers. I don't know, or something like that. What were you doing before that, and how were you able to like change to do CrossFit and do your box full time?
Yeah, so Before that, I worked in a call centre. It was First Source at the time, and I basically was just taking calls for Sky, talking to people through just everything, like how they fix the problems they had with their Sky boxes, their TV in general. And before that, I came from construction, and it was around the recession time. So you're maybe working 3 days a week, 1 week, and then no work the week after, running about looking for your money, and it was just a headache at that time because obviously the recession. So when I got this job, it was like, or I'll never forget it, was you work 5 days a week. I worked every Sunday. Sky Sports was always on the TV when you were sitting taking your calls. You used to sit below the TV, and I was talking to people on the phone, just like we're doing now, watching football all day. And I thought this is like a new life. This is unbelievable. Getting my pay packet every single month in the bank, on time, on the date it was meant to be in. So I done that for like about 6 months. But whenever you're in the call centre, the one thing you want to do is get off the phones. They get promoted, they get another job. So I basically used to do like taking calls, and used to think, right, used to talk to my manager, say, what do I do to be better at this? Like, what can I do? And it was like, sell stuff. So I remember like for about 3-4 months in a row, I was in the whole building, the top seller on these calls and stuff. And it's not because I was doing anything spectacular. It was really easy. Basically what I used to do was, if you phone me with Sky and you're paying £60, I could always give you more and get you paying less. And I used to do it with absolutely everybody, just adding that wee bit of value as such. So then I got promoted to a trainer, which was basically then what you would have done. If in call centres, as you know, it's like a revolving door. They're always recruiting new people. So then the trainer would have got the new people up to skill and up to speed with what they had to do on the floor. So we would have had like 4 or 5 weeks with these people, training them up to how to do the job. And then they would have been out on the floor and done the job and such. And we just kept training people that way. So that's basically what I'd done before. Well, I was still into fitness then, but before I decided I wanted to be a PT. So when you look at that job as a trainer in the call centre, what was I actually doing? Talking to people, telling them how to do this job, teaching them how to do it. A lot of these people are really nervous about talking to people. I was scored in that job of how well these people done the job, so how well they spoke to people. So all I had to do was basically build these people up, build their morals, give them a wee bit of like sort of positivity, which I would be a kind of positive person anyway. So that's kind of led me down this path. And then when I started CrossFit when I was 30, which I would have been about 4 years in the call centre then, I realised that I wanted to be a personal trainer. So while in the call centre, I went down that route. I'd done a course to get my personal training certificate. I got that. And that was really, at that time, to be honest, I didn't really think about opening the gym. And that's kind of, I suppose about me, I don't really worry about too much. If I want to do something, I do it. So me and Andy met up. It was around the November time. There was a local gym at that time. It was 2015. I remember it was November time. And we were talking about opening a gym because there was no CrossFit at this time in Limavady. So I was still working there, obviously. As a trainer, you would have had times with we called them teams, with no new people coming through. So you had a wee bit of downtime in between. So I could kind of think about how we would do this. So November time we had spoke about it. And Andy was a wee bit different to me, thinking about things and stressing out about stuff. And I was like, just do it. Let's just open. And so we went around then that week and we looked at these buildings and I seen a nice building and I thought, you know what, that'll do. Low rent. And then we spoke about it again. He's like, when we open, I said, just open in January. So literally 2 months planning and we opened the gym in 2016. And 3 months into the gym, I was working in the gym in the mornings, going to work in the call centre, coming back, working the gym in the evenings. That lasted for about 2 or 3 months. And then Andy phoned me one day just to say, basically, look, we're at 100 members now. It's getting too stressful this year. I can't do. He had a good job in the council, and he's like, I can't do this, and just kind of stressing out a wee bit. And I told him I'd ring him back in 10 minutes. When I hung up the phone, as I say, I don't really like dealing with stress too much. I went down to HR department in their building, and I just told them I'm handing my resignation, I'm quitting. I had to give 2 weeks notice. I phoned them back and says, look, sir, I'll be full time in the gym in 2 weeks' time. Oh, sir, do you think we can do that? Is what he said to me. I said, look, well, no matter what happens with this, I'll always get a job. Like, I'm a proud person, but I don't have an ego, and if I have to go back and work anywhere to bring money into the house, I'll do it. Like, so I just thought the chance was worth taking, and that would have been March, April time, 2016, and I literally have not looked back. That's a long way to put the answer, like, but sorry for. Are you sleeping?
Well, it's just interesting because, like, it's very different from the way that I think. Although I don't necessarily deal with stress, I don't jump into things like head first. But like, like what about money? What about at this time? I imagine you had a family as well, a young family.
Yeah, I had actually three. I had the three kids when I opened the gym.
And I mean, please tell me within the 10 minutes that you called back Andy, that you at least said to Tilly, listen, I'm about to leave my job, bitch. I'm so sorry, 1 second. At least something like that. It sounds like you might have not had said to your partner that actually...
It was a brief conversation, but see with me, now don't get me wrong, see within Limavady, there was a massive, massive avenue for CrossFit in Limavady, and I knew... because I was doing it and what it was, the training and the type and just everything it stands for, I knew it would, not that I knew it would work, but I knew there was an avenue for it as such. So I did speak to Tilly about it briefly, but Tilly supports me the whole way. Tilly does stress out about stuff a lot, don't get me wrong, but I think she knows deep down as well that it would work too, and it is a stressful time with 3 kids, but again, honestly, if I was to have to go on Monday to get a job, I would do I would do anything. There's no ego too big. If you need to bring money into the house, I'll bring it in whatever way I have to, and that's just the way it is.
And I also think it's safe to say, Micky, that Tilly is an absolute rock for you. Like the stuff you get to do, you wouldn't be able to do without Tilly there to do everything else.
Yeah. And so again, you don't think about these things now. You maybe think about it more when I'm not doing this stuff anymore, as in I'm not competing. I'm just running the gym and stuff. But she does stress out with me, and she has lots of concerns around things. But outside of that, when I'm not there, and with the kids, and she does everything, absolutely everything. I don't have to worry about anything really. She does it all. I'm lucky that way too. You know what I mean? So we have a good relationship. We do kill each other all the time, and obviously no violence and stuff. But you know what I mean? We're a married couple. We've been together 18 or 19 years, we've been through it all, so yes, it's you always, what is it they say, behind every good man there's, a
good woman, they say, a good woman.
Well, yeah.
You picked the wrong podcast to say that on, Micky.
Yeah. Well,
let me tell you the reasons.
It's actually true. Behind every good man, there is another man, and sometimes there's a third and a fourth man as well.
Yeah,
and that's what we call a good party.
Yeah. It's actually the thing we tell you as well, and even on this podcast and stuff, it's kind of being around Ash, and obviously with Tilly, her sister's actually a lesbian as well, so we've been around sort of just life in general. We've seen different things happen. We're so open minded with everything that nothing really, but even with the kids, Ash will tell you in the house, it's quite funny, at times. Remember Ashley and Bobby got the card off Diggsy?
Oh, yeah.
In the gym. He got a wee card, and Bobby said he put kisses on it, and he said to Diggsy, that's so gay, sure. But Ashley was standing, and Bobby's only 11 at this time. And Ashley's like, what's wrong with being gay? And wee Bobby, blushes and stuff. So, as I say, that's how good the relationship is. We've been through so much, and how it works is we always get by, and these things happen. Everybody's so different, but we're just comfortable with who we are, and I don't know.
And it'll be good. I'll come and visit, because I do want to do a CrossFit, although I'm quite scared. I'm not very good at lifting my body weight because I'm such a massive, massive person. But I can come to Limavady, and then Bobby can see his first black person. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
As I say, Bobby could be your coach.
Well, the thing is I'm a bit different.
He's a harsh coach. He's a very harsh coach.
Bobby doesn't do CrossFit anymore.
I know that he coaches Ashley, and Ashley can't keep up, but Ashley and I are a little bit different physically. I will say that. I'd like to believe that I'm a few steps up above that.
So, Micky, we've got this circumstance where a lot of us are in lockdown now for 8 weeks.
Yes.
Has it been announced yet when gyms are going to open again? Not that I know of.
If you believe what you read and all on social media, but not officially. So here's the problem, Matt, we have over here, right? And the reason why I didn't say it, but Ash knows, is whenever it gets, I think, isn't Boris Johnson saying stuff tonight or something?
It's not Boris Johnson, but it's someone. They said, someone else is saying, it's 7 o'clock.
That won't be Northern Ireland, though.
No.
Do you know what? It's so mad. Every time I read something, and I just finished the book, and it's always talking about everything, but Northern Ireland follows something different. It is absolutely bonkers.
Honestly, it's fucking insane. Do you see whenever they release the grants and stuff, your man, what do you call him? I don't follow politics. I'm completely obnoxious when it comes to it. Fuck. What do you call the boy that does the finance boy? What do you call him?
The Chancellor of the Exchequer.
No.
Is it
the older boy? Rashid? No.
Oh, yeah. Fisher, I don't know.
That guy.
Yeah.
Him. Aye. He released these grants coming, so I was happy days. I was like, this is great. So I phoned up on the Monday. I was like, look, I'm just ringing up for this grant. He says, oh no, that's England. That's not here. I was like, he said the UK. He says, but that's England. It's not here yet. And I was like, holy sweet Lord, right? Okay, bye. So yeah, it's just fucking like absolute crap.
So what's happening with your business then?
At the minute, my landlord's worked with me. He's kind of not charging me any rent at the minute because we're closed. But we haven't had any financial security from the government at all yet. We have everything in place. Like we're applicable for it. We're eligible, and yeah, nothing's happened. Nothing. So we'll be okay though. I hope.
So, yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll get some clarity soon. And it sounded like you yesterday were speaking to the right guy rather than the wrong guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
With regards to the phone call I sort of overheard. But what I was going to say is, so we're all in this lockdown now, coming in 8 weeks. Not too sure when the gym's going to open again. What can people do to keep active and keep on it? And one thing that, like you said, there's sort of like a pause button put in life. Unfortunately, it doesn't pause everything. And for people who do work out quite regularly, there'll be a big change in what they were able to do before the lockdown versus when they come out of the lockdown and get back into the gym. So what do you recommend for people?
Just say that. I actually heard about those people. I don't know who they are.
So what would you say to those people, like mentally, or not just them people, anyone mentally, saying, look, some things have gone on, and how do you brace yourself to come out of this lockdown? And what can people do in the meantime to get their mindset out of where it is and keep active and keep on top of it? Because I find it really hard to keep motivated at the minute. And
it is. It's again, everybody is so different, but everybody, I believe everybody has goals and everything they're trying to achieve or things that they want to do in the future or coming up soon. And I just think the here and now will affect everything that you want later. So, like, I actually had this conversation with a guy in the shop earlier on, just about, in general, for the headspace of, like, exercise does stuff to you. It really does. Like, and I'm not talking about killing yourself in the gym. If the gym's not your thing, then that's okay. Go for a walk. Go for a jog. Go for a cycle. Just get up off your sofa, walk around the house a few times. Just do something. Go out to the garden. You just need to think, like, for instance, these things are happening now. Nothing is going to change what's happening. So there's a lot of people in week one that had this conversation. They say, oh my God, I can't cope. And like, I just had to be realistic with some of these people to say, look, this is going to last for at least 2 months. I said, we're only week one in. Stop thinking about all the negatives and try and do something every single day that might become a routine that's good and gives you that feeling of, oh, that was good today, or whatever that is. If it's stretching, walking, running, doing some exercise, high intensity, low intensity. It's just like no matter who you are or what circumstance you're in, everybody would have had some form of goal or thing that they're aiming for down the line. Because this has happened, shouldn't really stop what you're still looking to do. Yes, it's not ideal, 100% it's not, but everything you do today affects the person you will become tomorrow, and that's the thing. It's just in my head, when it comes to going for things that are ahead of you, then everything that I do now is going to impact that. So, like, for instance, why is the Ben and Jerry's not going to be out until next Saturday? Because if I eat that today, then I'll maybe want something else tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after. It just spirals. Whereas if I can discipline myself to do it just on a Saturday, then that's okay, because it's 1 day a week. Whereas it's the same with exercise. If you can discipline yourself to do like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes a day, and just see where that goes every day, it'll change. And again, it doesn't have to be just with exercise. It can be from learning something or anything.
Yeah. One thing you said to me this week, which like really resonated with me, is I obviously had a little mini meltdown in the middle of the week where I, for some reason, decided to weigh myself, realized I put on a good bit of weight, and then I decided to do an exercise, which was the assault bike, which was 90 seconds on, 60 seconds off, 10 rounds, and it's max calories. And then the first thing I think I messaged you was, well, I just did this and it wasn't great because the last time I did this, I was able to get, I think it was like 40 odd more calories. But obviously in my head, I just look at the two and think that's terrible. But
Yeah.
you said to me, well, that was then and this is now. So that was really, and you're right. It's like I can either wallow over the negativity of not being as good as I was back. And I think when I did this last time, I'd already been training for like 3 or 4 months, wasn't I? At this point, I think when I did it, and then I was like, well, I can either mope about this or just sort of suck it up and aim to move forward as best I can.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ash will know me well enough. Whenever I speak, I'm not really good at putting across exactly what I mean at the time. I mean something, and you'll pick up what I mean. But what I was talking about earlier on with the mental health side and the whole people hiding behind the umbrella, like with mentalities and like weaker mentalities, stronger mentalities. That's everybody focuses on who I used to be, or this is the way it is, or this person's this. Where you are in this present minute in time is called being in the present. Forget the person that done this a year ago, where that's not the present. Like there's so many things change in that time, and you just have to deal with the present. Yes, it will come back again, but the only way, like for instance, you texted me about that workout and saying I done this, but I done it this way like a while ago. What's the difference in then was like you've moved to London. Not that that's a negative, but whenever you were in Limavady,
fucking London.
but the difference, I know them Londoners. No, but the difference is like whenever you're in London, that's Limavady's Limavady. London's a lot busier than Limavady. Like you don't get in London. I'm sure your jobs aren't normally like a 9 to 5 or like you have to get there for 9. You're on a train and you're coming back, and it's just like a 100 mile an hour. Limavady's a lot different. You can schedule every minute of your day in Limavady in your day, if that makes sense. So like you were in the gym every day, maybe 2-3 hours a day at times, and that's just not where you're at the minute, and that's fine. But people always think, and I have these conversations with people all the time, and it's in life normally when we do something, you will never say to yourself that was brilliant. It's always but, and that's just a mindset that I think just has to change. Like people talk about Americans and how much they dislike Americans. I, for one, absolutely love Americans. And the reason why I do, right, and it's a funny story that somebody once told me, and it's so true. If you have a big, massive house in the hill in America, everybody in that country wants to be that person. They aspire to be that person. They're so like confident and they want to just be that person. If you have that big house in the UK on the hill, everybody looking up at that hill is calling you a complete wanker, and they don't even know who you are. And that for me is a difference that I see with the negativity around things, and not that is bad, but it's a mentality in the UK is just very, very, very negative. I see, and I don't know, it just takes a wee bit of change. One positive thought every day instead of the negative ones.
No, I definitely.
But that's hard. That's easy for me to say.
I think it's for me. Like I think, and I agree with what you're saying. I think sometimes it comes easy, maybe to some people, maybe not so many to others. And it's all got to do with the way that you're wired in general, and your backgrounds, and positive affirmations that you maybe would have received growing up, and all these sorts of things come into play. But ultimately, if you're able to try and start thinking about those things, and I'd spoken before, especially early on in the podcasts when we were doing them, about therapy that I started having, because I'm very much someone who focuses on the negative for sure, both in myself and others. I'm a highly judgmental person, and it's taken me a long time, and it's really resonated with me. Like even today and yesterday, I've been doing my bit of exercises. Now it's nowhere near the amount of exercise I was doing last time, and my day's nowhere near as productive. But I genuinely, to the point where it's a bit much, give myself like a pat on the back for my day, because I managed to do my exercises, I managed to do my lesson of Italian that I'd said, and I managed to cook a really nice meal, or whatever it is, or whatever it may be, because every day I'm doing it, I seem to be increasing a little bit more, and I don't know, the routine is starting to, has built, I will say, in this situation, and I think, I want this to continue once.
That's it, though. I think if you look at this in life in general, it can be exercise, it can be a job, it can be school, it can be, Jesus, the first time you drank a beer. I don't care what anybody says. That first time you do that, it's shite. You haven't a clue what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. And it makes you feel like shit. Like the first time I had a beer, I remember, how the fuck do people drink this? It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't drink now. I would never touch it anyway. But like the first time you go to school, it's nerve wracking. It's not a really great experience, really. Whenever you go to your new job, you feel like the idiot because you don't know what you're doing, and you know but if you keep doing that thing daily, every single day, it gets easier. No doubt about it.
Absolutely, and I think that ego thing is really important. So I work in hospitality in London, and I think it was similar where we have a really high churn of people because it's a revolving door, and then you've got to train these people to do, customer service, things like that. And I think, and I generalize heavily for sure, but I think, especially in London, and I can talk about my family and the people that I grew up with, our mentality when it comes to doing work because you need to work is actually very poor, and there seems to be this ego or pride that I can't do this job or that job. But fundamentally, we need to work, we need to earn money, we need to, be an active member within society. And having that mindset, I felt like you spoke with pride about your time in Sky and the fact that you were instilling and teaching these people. Whereas that's also not an easy thing to come across, like speaking with pride about actually, this is the work that I'm doing. And it's taken myself a long time to get over that hurdle as well. I felt really embarrassed about the work that I was doing growing up. But I would always work. I would always work, regardless of what job it is, because that's what I know. That's what I know to work.
And that's the thing with it as well. Again, it's being in the present. Like, realistically, I'm lucky to say that I do something I love and I don't see myself as working. But it wasn't always that way. But I just believe whatever it is you're doing, you have to do it with all you have, because at the end of the day, if you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing it half-assed, and it's not really the way it should be.
Ashley, is he still there?
Oh yeah, no, I was just waiting. I thought you were...
He fell asleep, Matt. He's probably looking up Matt McLeod there on his Instagram or something.
Listen,
Matt
his
Fraser.
Instagram posts about any. Do you look at his Instagram posts when he goes to any of these like CrossFit competitions?
Oh
my days!
I was there. It's embarrassing.
I didn't know you were there. I'll tell you that now. Based on his Instagram stories and posts, I did not know you were there.
Stop it! There was that one time where it was the Friday night at Strength and Depth in London, and there was just this perfect shot I was getting, and Matt Fraser is just about to take his top off, and then that guy Dan who does all the. That guy Dan who does all the commentating, he walked right and then just stopped, and I was like, "What? No!" And then my wee hand was trying to like move around, but he literally stood there, and just
but that's an orbit of this. This is the other two kinds of people. Like whenever Matt, we were at Strength and Depth, right, and there was this VIP area, which literally meant that you were like in front of the front row, if that makes sense. You were so close. But there was this wee woman sitting up on it, and she was just like security at it, and Tilly and Ashley were. I was like, I'm going to go in there. Oh no, you can't do that. Oh no. And I was like, all she's going to tell us is no. So just go and see. Oh no way. So I said, right, I'm going. So I walked up. It was just before Rich Froning, who is the icon of like CrossFit. He is like the biggest CrossFitter ever. Yeah. He's just about to come on. I said, I'm going to go up here. So next thing, the wee woman standing. Now before this, to be fair, I bought her a wee drink and talked there and stuff, and just made sure. So I went up this time anyway. Straight through, no problem. In the front row, waving to Ash and Tilly. Now, this guy is like the GOAT. He's the best of all time. Wee Ash's face was waving, but inside he was going, "What a bastard! Fuck! Fuck!"
Can I just point out also that you had a coach's pass, so you had a better. Yes, you did.
I had a coach's wristband.
Yeah, exactly. You had a coach's pass, so you had that little different colored wristband that didn't necessarily let you pass into the VIP section, but you were able to wave a better story. If I had just gone up
on the back of this point, then Ash, did you get into that VIP area?
I did, yes.
Did you get a coach's pass?
No, but you were able to blag it because you had the coach's pass.
It's irrelevant.
Anyway, guys, that's our longest podcast. That's our longest recording.
No, it's good.
Yeah, I spend a waffle.
Yeah, if we take out all Mickey's parts, it'll probably last 20 seconds. But, Micky, thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story and giving us your advice and your inspiration. You are an inspiration to us all.
Definitely, I haven't visited Ashley, to be honest, but I'm really excited to come over to Limavady.
We know this, Matt. We know this.
Do you know what, though? He does not invite me, and I will say this. It's not my fault if he doesn't invite me. It's not. So there I'm sitting, and then my friend goes over and he's like, Ashley asked me to come over to Belfast, and I'm like, oh, did he ask you? Because I'm just here sitting waiting, but whatever.
No. No.
I haven't finished speaking yet. I haven't finished speaking just
Okay, well, once you're finished, I will tell the true
I
story.
just want to say I'm really excited. Hopefully, if you'll have me over for a little workout,
Of course.
then yeah. But please don't laugh.
We don't,
'Cause I'm
I never laugh. Honestly, like I never laugh at anybody. And this is kind of in the CrossFit scene. This is kind of how it goes. What we talked earlier on about scaling things. You'll say to somebody, so say for instance, you come into the class and Ashley's doing it, and you're doing it. I might say to you, depending on the experiences you've had before. So if there's certain things you haven't used before, I'll probably tell you to do less. But some people always think then that I'm telling them to do that because I don't think they can do it, and they end up doing the full thing, but don't do anything else because it wrecks them so much. But yeah, it's tough. But it's not. It's good too. You'll be fine. I don't laugh at anybody though.
Oh, good.
Apart from Ashley.
I do
You
swear.
laugh at me all the time.
I know.
Just Ashley. Just Matt, on the point of you coming across, if you are coming across, just make sure that Ashley's not on Grindr that weekend because you'll have to sleep in the shed probably.
Innit, boy? I have nowhere to stay. Absolutely
He'll
nowhere
kick
to
you out
stay.
because he's got his wee friends over.
Innit?
I've got hoes before bros. To be honest, there's not many hoes around Limavady that would be staying at mine. Anyway.
Mickey doesn't know, but all of the hoes on there actually have children and wives.
No, I do know.
Mickey knows.
I know that here, man. One thing about Limavady, right? You know everything, and you know what? I'm not one to gossip. But I stay away from all that stuff. But Ashley and Tilly love the gossip, so I hear a lot.
You may have heard that one of my dreams is to destroy a family, right? To get, I just want to come in there, be the chick on the side, and absolutely massacre this family. It's just an absolute dream of mine. So that I might find somewhere else to stay. Like it might happen.
You'll get on well in Limavady.
Innit?
You'll be like an Ash boy brought a boy home from London. Hey, destroyed all these families.
Brought a black guy from London who came and wrecked the place.
Yes, absolute dream. It'll make the paper.
His legacy still lives on.
Yeah, they'll have a statue of you in the town square, man.
Yes, me being lynched, I'm sure.
With the Matt meets Bigsy.
No, I don't think that'll happen.
Why? Who's Bigsy?
Oh, flip.
Anyway.
hard to explain in the few seconds we've got left.
Yes,
Mickey, thank you very much. I think I called you Michael there. I said Michael.
Sorry, that's
Mickey, thanks very much for coming on and chatting. It's obviously always a joy to chat to you.
Thank you,
Matt.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Mickey. I know it was really hard, but we've got through it.
I'm just going to put this out. I'm the first straight guy on the Honest to Pod podcast. Is that true?
Well, we only had 2 other guests, so it's not a big It's not a great achievement, but
that's a fact.
I will say
do you know what would be interesting?
And the oldest. That's also true. So we can just lay out.
Yeah.
Well, see, whenever you're putting this up, right? Just to settle an argument, when you're putting this up, Matt, you put it up and put a photo of me and Ashley beside each other and ask the question: who looks the youngest?
All right. 100%.
No filters, nothing, and we'll go on the vote.
I need to find a picture.
Decide.
The thing is, there's no pictures of you because you've got pictures of you topless, and Ashley has pictures of every other CrossFitter except for you. So it's going to be impossible to find one.
It's true.
But I'll look.
On that note, guys, thanks everyone for listening.
I 100% will.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Mickey, and everyone. Chat soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.